Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about issue number 18 of X-Men From the Ashes, written by Jed McCoy and art by Emilio Laso. But before we dive into the story, I want to ask you a favor. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like and a comment to help the channel grow. So with that said, this issue opens where the last issue left off in the Alaskan base with Beast watching a monitor while saying, "Damn it, we have teenage giant monsters and the inexplicable X-Men to deal with." But just as Beast was speaking out loud, a voice came up from behind him and said, "Now, Dr. McCoy, I worked awfully hard turning those boys and girls into X-Men, and I don't appreciate your tone. So when 3Ks come calling, it falls to me, as the means, to do the knocking. But you can call me Wire, and I've come a long way to have a little chat with you." So with Wire cornered Beast, we then jump over to Scott's X-Men team staring down 3K, readying themselves to pick up where they left off. And as they stood there, Cyclops said, "Your leader's finished, this is the part where you surrender." So, almost instantly, with this new development, Juice asked, what do they do now with their leader down? To which Time Bomb shouted for him to shut up because they got this, because this was supposed to be a test. Now with that pointed out, Galatea doubled down on Time Bomb's statement and said, "That's right, and there's no way a surrender is going on my report card." So with the team divided, Constellation added his 2 cents and stated, "Steady Galatea, you know the protocol, Time Bomb is captain after Schwarzschild." But that was of no concern to Galatea, because she went on to say, "The thing about that is I don't listen to nobody but Schwarzschild." And see, she wasn't the only one who thought that way, for Psychovore agreed with her. Now this pissed Time Bomb off, because she was supposed to be next up to lead the team, the same team that was now divided. So as they argued with themselves, Magic stated, "Are we going to hit them or what?" To which Cyclops said, "They're in a moment of leadership crisis, a threat will unify them. When your enemy is making a mistake, you just sit back and let them. And let them do it." They did, as Galatea and Time Bomb started to argue among themselves. And during their conversation, we find out that this team of 3K mutants was all once Orcus agents from different departments. Some was X-Shield, X-AIM, and X-Strike. So with those factions fighting among themselves, Juggernaut impatiently asked what was they waiting for, to which Cyclops answered by saying, "I led a team with Wolverine on it for years, so I know what this is and how it ends, and all they have to do is wait for it to play out." And like clockwork, Galatea swung on Time Bomb. So with the fight on, a smile crept on Cyclops' face as he said, "There it is, and it's a lot more fun when it isn't happening to me." So with the time right, Cyclops and his team joined the chaos as we transitioned over to Magneto's battle with Nova's prodigy. And when we see this battle, we see the Sentinel controlled by Magneto lying flat as the child called him a joke. So with the battle looking bad, Magneto replied with, "Henry, do you have a plan? Because my options are becoming severely limited." And at that moment, we see Ben's plan spring into action as he shouts for it to leave Magneto alone because he has the person it really wants to kill. And with a shove, he pushes Pipper's mom towards the creature. Now this was something that caught its attention as it cried out "Mom." So as Piper's mom cried out how she couldn't do this on the floor, Ben just continued to say, "Woman, I am not dying because you listen to too many podcasts. Look, I get it, you got a rough deal. But we all did. I was tortured and experimented on until my brain broke. But the X-Men saved me, stopped me from hurting anyone, put my mind back together. And they can do the same for you." Now this statement was offensive to the prodigy because she pointed out that she had it way more rougher than they did. After all, at least they got a name, at least they had a life, and at least they had a body. So with that pointed out, Ben shot back by saying, "Sure, you're right, so what are you going to do now that you've got one? Are you just going to murder people, for God's sake?" Following that exchange, we then jump back over to Beast interacting with Wire. And as Beast lay there, he tells Wire that he'll get nothing from him. But that was when Wire replied with, "You think that's why I'm here? For information? You wound me, I have information for you, a message." Now this caused Beast to ask the next logical question, which was, what message would that be? So with an outstretched hand, Wire went on to say, "That you're wasted here, the Beast doesn't belong with the X-Men, he belongs with us. I'm here to extend an invitation to join 3K. I may have had a crisis of faith some years back, but other than that, I've always known what I should be, a monster. I think you and I have that in common. Because you're lucky, you know for a fact what you can be, because it's already happened once. Your potential has already been mapped, and we think we can help you make the most of it. Get your things, we're going to do such great work together." But before Beast could say anything, on the next page, Jim came crashing on the scene and attacked Wire from behind saying, "Get away from him." So with Jem coming to Beast's aid, we then jump back over to the chaos that Ben is trying to defuse. Now the last time we saw them, Ben told the prodigy to grow up. Now this was the wrong move, for it pissed it off even more. So to prove a point, Ben shouted for it to go on then and kill its mother, its mutant-hating mother. And at that moment, the child froze in its tracks and was lost for words as Ben continued to say, "Prove that we are exactly what they say we are. Make her a symbol for Gene Nation, for the Sapien League. Turn her into 1,000 video thumbnails. The mother murdered by her own mutant child. They'll love that. You'll have done them the biggest favor since Bolivar Trask." So with that said, the mother then went on to say, "Please, I didn't know you were in there, and Piper. I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you. When the doctor told me I was going to have twins, I was so excited. And then you disappeared, and the doctor said it was normal, and I got so scared. Because all of a sudden, I went from 2 kids to 1, just like that, before either was even born. The world can just do that, the world can just do that, and it's normal. The world can just take your kid away, make them disappear, and all I could think about was protecting the one I had left. So I got scared of everything, and when they started talking about the mutant plague, I got scared of that too. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I wanted you both, you and Piper. I was going to name you Robin." And with that revelation, Robin started to cry because she indeed had a name. So as Robin started to create a new form for herself, Nova attempted to steer her away from peace and told Robin that they were lying and were trying to play her as a fool. But Robin wasn't trying to hear it as she took the form of a small child. So with that going on, we then jumped back to Wire and Jem going at it. And that battle is going as expected, as Jem was completely outmatched and Wire stated, "One of our little experiments, spreading her wings." Coming to the defense of the big blue beast. So right before Wire could finish the job, Beast stepped in and said, "I'll go with you. Whatever you want, I'll do it, just don't hurt her, please." Now this was exactly what Wire wanted to hear, because as he tossed Jem towards Beast, he continued to say, "You fundamentally misunderstand what's happening here. We're not some sad mob of blackmailers. We're the future. Your invitation is an honor, not a threat, and it stands. You're not ready yet, and that's okay, but you're going to come to realize who you really are very soon. And when that time comes, you will get in touch." Means to the doctor, "Testing has concluded, all objectives met. Bring us all home." And at that moment, Wire disappeared. And on the next page, we then see the rest of 3K's X-Men disappear as well. So with that dealt with, we then transitioned over to Robin in her new form as Nova started to whisper in her ear, trying to persuade her, saying, "You are being foolish. Some crocodile tears and high-minded sentiment, and you forget your purpose? You will never be anything but a monster to them. Do you really think that your mother has seen the errors of her ways? Do you really think these X-Men will forgive you for everything you've already done? Such paltry coin that allows yourself to be bought with. Perhaps you've forgiven your mother for her fear. Perhaps you've forgiven the X-Men for their baseless attacks upon you, but can you forgive her? She took everything from you in the womb, imprisoned you in her own flesh. Can you forgive your sister?" And to that statement, Robin stopped in her tracks and said, "No, I can't." And with that pewter out there, Nova then went on to say, "No, you can't, and you shouldn't have to. Zealot to the doctor, I think we're ready to come home." And without another word, Robin was teleported away. So with Robin gone, we then jumped over to Beast sitting in the dark with his walkie-talkie listening to the incoming broadcast saying, "Cyclops to all points, mutant opposition gone, tele-evac. No casualties, all point status." And to that Beast reported in by saying, "Beast to the X-Men, we had a base intrusion, no casualties, I think." Then Ben went on to say, "The kid is gone, teleported or something. We're all okay though. I'm just getting Magneto out of the wrecked Sentinel." So with everyone checking in, Cyclops quickly doubled back to what Beast just said about an intrusion and asked if he was alright. To which Beast answered by saying he is fine while looking at a card given to him by Wire. And with that said, this issue of X-Men comes to an end. Now down in the comment section below, let me know your thoughts about this issue and what predictions you could have moving forward. So with that established, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to leave a like and a comment if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.